Alright, a lot of you, this won't matter to because you've already got thousands of Topaz gypsum and all the other gypsum stacked up, but I've been baking matrices, so I don't have as many matrices as I need. So one of the ways to get gypsum is Topaz gypsum. You need to make it at your camp or at a Arcana station. I just do it at the Arcana station because it's easy. I've got a few of these life moth eyes. You can use other things. You can use earth shell tails. They're very expensive on Marama. I wouldn't recommend that. You can use spinfish fins. They're very expensive on Marama. Salamander slimes are pretty expensive. I usually use what I have, and right now I have, just a few of the life mouth eyes, so that's what I'm going to use to make my potion. I actually have 4 already made, but for the sake of showing you what to do, I'm just going to do it. So you click craft, and poof, it magically appears. Um, you can farm this anywhere where there are level 55 plus enemies in New World. But somebody showed me this, and I reported it to AGS, so if they think it's an exploit, they haven't done anything about it. It's been known to me now for about 4, maybe 5 months. So I'm assuming that AGS doesn't care about it. But I poured up to this shrine right here, this Nexel Rude Shrine. You can do 2 or 3 other places. And like I said, you can go any place you want to go where there are level 55 elite mobs. And then I just go down to, well, actually I don't have any buffs at all going. So I'll take my Topaz potion. I'll go ahead and take another one of these turkey potions. And probably some incense because there's corruption up here. A honing stone. And then I usually do some type of food, like I'll take a con food, and then I've got just this, and I don't know if it works. Sometimes it seems like that they count twice, sometimes it doesn't. The rabbits you won't get any of the topaz from, but you take a chance at getting the lucky rabbit's foot for the basic luck trophy, or the sumptuous rabbit. Oh, there's usually orichalcum, but it's not up there right now. And then I like to play a song for the extra luck. Uh, do what you want to do. If you're a better musician than I am, by all means, play a better song. Um, Luck's labor, fortune's favor. That's what I want. Yield. Because I'm also going to gather some mats while I'm up here running around. Like I said, if you're a better musician than I am, by all means do it on expert. I do it on skilled. That seems to be what I can get away with and get pretty good. If I do it on skilled, I actually don't do as well as I do doing it on skilled or max. That's what I should say. If I do it on the harder one, I don't get as good a score as I do from doing it on this one at this level. So you do you, be you, enjoy. And then I am going to pop a proficiency booster because I forgot to do that also because I'm going to gather a bunch of mats. Alright. So the first part of this you can kind of skip through for a little bit until you see me start fighting ghosts if you want to see where the quickest place is just to farm the topaz potion. But what I'm doing is I come up here and I farm. And I won't get but 2 or 3 topaz potions while I'm at the beginning of this. They just don't drop that much from these things even though they are level 60. Iron hide isn't really worth much of anything, but that scar hide is like $5 or $6 a piece, so it is worth something. So that's one reason I'm killing is getting these things. I think iron hide's 1 or 2 cents a piece or something like that. I mean, if you're crafting leather yourself, you will need a certain amount of it, uh, but you don't need near as much of it as you wind up with. And the meat's nice also, especially if you're like a cook. If you're the cook of your group, or you're giving the cook of your group some mats and stuff to use. So somebody has got the Azoth water, and the reason they have harvested the Azoth water up here is I think it's somewhere around 14 gold a pop on Marama. Now I'm surprised those trees are up, because I never have enough rune wood. I don't know if you do or not. If you do, by all means, run past stuff like this. Unless you want to try and gather it to sell. Me, I want to try and gather it to sell. Did you see that alligator interrupt me? How rude. Skin him. And he did drop our first Topaz Gypsum. Got 40 rune wood from that tree. This one should drop more because it's a bigger tree. There's 58 rune wood. This one will probably be like 35 or 38. 43, not bad. That's that deer I shot a while ago. So it looks like they have harvested the Azoth water and stuff. I'll give it a few minutes to respawn. Sometimes it'll respawn quickly, sometimes not so much. We'll go get the Topaz potion first. Uh, I adjust and adapt my plans. I don't know how you guys play, but if I make a plan and I realize, oh, that's not going to work, I try to figure out a better plan and make it work. Because when I realized that somebody had got all the Azoth water, well, there's no point in me trying to show you my little trick for gathering some Azoth water and making some coin while I do this if there's none there to gather. And that was our second Topaz. I don't know exactly how many mobs we've killed, but we've killed a few. We got 2 Azoth out of the bunch. But I'm not really heavily farming these for the Azoth. Here in just a moment, I'll show you where we go and we'll get the Azoth left, right, and sideways. Oh, now we're at 3. Well, it's going to make it look like it drops faster than it does on the gators, apparently, for some reason, for the video purposes. But usually I can kill like a bunch of alligators, and I'll get like 1 out of every 4 or 5 will drop a Topaz Gypsum. But these ghosts here in this Whisper Val place, they drop one every time I kill one. So I had 2 or 3 when I came in. I'm already at 5. There's 6. There's 7. So I think they've done something weird with the way they've written these ghosts. I don't know what exactly, but these things drop a lot of other stuff too. Like you can get the lost trophy mats up here, the mid-tier one, the ectoplasmic essence, I think it is. We may get one here in a minute, and you can see. And me being the greedy bugger that I am, I always try to loot all of the chests I run past, so whenever I see a chest, it's probably going to get looted. There's 11. Twelve, 13, 14, 15. Now that's all the topaz you can get in one 24-hour period of time. It is possible to start the topaz potion and like go back to the shrine and log out, or get a spot up here where there's no mobs at and log out and do it for 2 or 3 days. But you only have 2 hours for the topaz to work. So if you're doing anything else in game, you're probably not going to have time to do that for multiple days unless you have multiple characters. And then if you have multiple characters, odds are you're going to want to be doing things to progress them all and not uh, sitting around waiting to do the one thing. But all that being said, you got to figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it, and do it the way you feel is best and makes the most sense to you. But see, these things drop something just almost every time you kill them. Music, song, sheets, songs, whatever you want to call them. Looks like the Azov Springs are starting to respawn. That one was up and I gathered it, but I thought it was like a fluke. But it looks like some of the rest of them are starting to respawn too. So we'll go back up through here and get some of these. Still killer deer. I like Gator's gonna knock me off. I didn't even know he was aggroed on me. I like the rapier with the bow, in case you can't tell, or the hatchet. They're both really good. The rapier, the main reason I use the rapier with my bow is I'm using the finisher as the offhand for the bow, and it automatically gives you an extra 10% damage when you're using the finisher, have the finisher equipped, and to whatever weapons in your other hand. So I can do a ton of damage from range. Like, you see that gator there? I mean, yeah, well, I'm not hitting as hard as I wanted to, I guess, since I bragged. But you get the idea. You can kill most things before they can get close enough to you to get a hit on them. hit for them to get a hit on you. If you really place your shot well, you can one tap a ton of things. Let's see. I just like to kill and skin as I run through here. These things are aggressive. The red guard stags, so they'll come at you. So if you don't kill them, it's not that big a deal. But the shattered bucks, if you want to kill them, you've got to kill them. They're not going to come to you. If you don't hit them with kill shots, then they will run away. They may come back and trample you a little bit, but they're not going to come attack you or come and chase you down and try to get to where you are. They just don't do that. They're more timid, I guess is the right word. Fearful. I don't know. They're trying to get away from you. But the shattered bucks, they're corrupted, so they're violent. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Evil, something. I don't know. They're looking to attack you. They're looking to cause some harm and cause some damage and be aggressive. Uh, this is so the shrine we ported in was there where we killed the ghost sets up through here. This is this. They've changed the name of it to Acherusa. Acherusa. I don't know what you call it. But the main reason I'm here is to pick up these resources because wire fiber sells. If you're trying to make money, if you want to make money, if you want to maintain your money. You get Azoth for killing these things. You get a little bit of coins sometimes. Get the chest. It's in this house. Eternal Dusk. I'm pretty sure I already have that. Armor fragments. Some people like the spear with the bow as well. I also like the spear with the bow. I often run the artifact venom with the bow. And then your bow also does a poison dot. If you'll look, whenever I'm shooting stuff with the bow that I have, it automatically puts a dot on there. When you use venom, you'll put another kind of dot, a poison dot on them. So like I'm doing fire and I think it's nature and maybe ice. I can't remember. There's like 3 different things. I'm doing that because the elemental band is broken as an artifact right now. You get that from doing the Gorgon raid. And it will, like, all of your extra damages, even bleeds and stuff, attunements, which it's not supposed to work with, it procs off of them. It grants you empower, makes your next shot hit harder, makes you more DPS-y. Um, but since there's so many things in this game that feel like they lack DPS, I'm taking advantage of the situation. I mean, I figure eventually New World will patch it, but the devs are really slow to patch things like that for some reason. And if they're going to be really slow to patch it and everybody else is using it, then I'm going to use it too, because why not? I mean, I'm at a disadvantage if I don't use it. All right. There's 9 more of that scar hide. I can't remember exactly what that stuff's selling for, but it seems like it's like a couple of bucks, $3 a piece or something. There used to be another one called Smolder Hide. AGS took it out of the game whenever they released this last update for New World Eternum. Whenever they launched on consoles, I don't have a problem with that. What we think happened, and I didn't count everything before the update, but what we think happened was that they turned all of the smolder hide into scar hide. So whatever, if you had some in your bank or had some in your storage or had some in your bag, they had all just doubled up and turned into this scar hide that we're using now. I mean, it would have been nice if they would have communicated that to us and told us that, but AGS is not known for communication. Oh, and they did hit it out of the park with that turkey mount, however. That might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's like $10 for a mount skin in the cash shop. Uh, I had to have it as soon as I saw it. I logged in one night for a war, and some members of my company were already standing in Everfall, riding around on the turkey mount. And I was like, okay, I have to be part of the pack. I need that. That is just too cool not to have. So I immediately went to the cash shop and plopped down the money for the turkey mount. I can only imagine what people thought when they first saw it. Like, if I'd been the very first person to have seen it, I would have probably been like, oh, I gotta have that because everybody on the server's gotta have that, so I need to be the server first. I will say that AGS's cash shop in New World Eternum is probably the most fair cash shop you can do. There are only cosmetics in there. You can't buy power, you can't buy progression. Uh, so there's literally nothing in the cash shop that grants you an unfair power advantage in the game. So even if you spent like hundreds or thousands of dollars in the cash shop, you couldn't buy power. You couldn't be more powerful. You would probably beat me in PvP because I do not excel at PvP. I do enjoy PvP. I do play PvP modes sometime. I'm in a company that's active in wars. They let me come in and defend sometimes or attack. We do influence pushes, open world PvP, OPR. Um, you know, they don't necessarily make me do any of that. They give me the opportunity to. One reason you want to do PvP is there's this thing called the PvP rewards track. It goes to level 200, then it kind of resets. You can get some PvP centered weapons and armor and stuff out of it. Um, Sometimes the weapons are good, sometimes not. But once you get to 200, you can get things like the artifact pants, the freedom pants. I actually got Serenity before AGS nerfed the drop rate on it, so I've had it already for a while. That's a great sword artifact from the PvP track. Um, I can't remember what all other ones are on there. There's one that's I think it's a medium chest that's got like full refreshing on it. I have it on one of my other characters, and I use it on a rapier build. And I think we got some kind of refreshing either on another piece of armor or on my rapier. And I literally, well, I can have rapier abilities on cooldown, but they come back almost as soon as I put them on cooldown. It's crazy how fast they come back. The nimble coat, I think, is the name of the artifact, and it's just insanely good. I'm running the Attune leather pants on this character, and those are really good as well. Only thing is, it's difficult to get your damage mitigation as good as it can be with the medium chest while wearing medium pants. Um, the featherweight medium chest weighs nothing, so you can actually wear a couple of pieces of heavy gear and still be in light equip load. So they're really good. It's really good. The Attune leather pants gives you a bunch of attribute points to play with. You get, I think it's 40 in your base, which is normal. Maybe it's a couple over. Maybe it's 36 is normal. I'd have to look and see. But anyway, then you get 15 at 700 or lower gear score on the artifact pants. And then once you go to 725, you get an extra one. So you'll get 16 and all your attribute bonuses, attribute points. And what that does is it lets you do some crazy stuff. Like I've got 450 dex, 50 strength, so I get the 10% heavy damage, the 5% light damage, the 5% random damage, and the 5% base damage, and then do the 25 focus to get the cooldown reduction. And as you can see, it's just crazy. It's crazy good. Somebody's got the bug there, so no point in pursuing that and trying to get the bug if it's already harvested. Somebody must have just been in this building too, because there's usually people here. But I'll take it. That means there's less I have to kill before I can loot the chests. Looting chests in Shattered Mountain gives you an opportunity at getting Enchanted Ward craft mod, which is a hardened crystal. So I try to loot the chests 2 or 3 days a week. You don't have to loot them every day. You don't have to ever loot them if you don't want to loot them. But I want the craft mods, so if I want the craft mods, I either have to buy them off the auction hall or come up here and try to get one myself. So what I often do is try to come up here and get one myself. It did take some damage there, but as you can see, it's working on taking its way back full. I've got some food on. It's working on filling me back up. Padded pristine jasper earring. Well, that sounds interesting. You can see stuff starting to respawn where whoever was in here a while ago killed stuff and it despawned when it was dead, but nothing stays dead on Eternum. We can respawn infinitely, so can our enemies that we're fighting against, the corrupted here. If you're looking for somebody to teach you the optimal rotation on weapons and stuff, you probably should stop watching me now, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing stuff that works for me. I do know you want to do that and then flurry, and if it's a boss, you want to flurry a couple times to build the bleeds on him. But these things are not bosses. They don't have enough health to warrant that, so the best thing I can do is to take and get a couple of pot shots on them with a bow and kill them. Kill them all. Put them out of my misery. Okay. So the salamander is in fact down. Boo, yes. That archer right there is going to shoot me, but I shot him before he could and killed him. Looks like that life moth is up. Those things are pretty cheap. They're $4 or $5 a piece, but I need at least 5 a day to keep making those Topaz attunement potions. So that's, if I find 5 of them, that's $25 I didn't have to spend that day. So I look at it like that. You can look at it different ways, and they're not necessarily wrong, or there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer to it. Excuse me. It's what you want to do. And what I want to do is to save money. I am at gold cap. I keep buy orders up on the trade posts so that I have room for more gold. I've been playing the game since betas and alphas. I don't remember exactly which one I came in, but I had some friends that got into the invite ones, and since they got into the invite ones, they tried it and they loved New World, and they're like, "Oh, you should try this." And then the game that we were playing, the developers were shutting it down at the time, so we were looking for a game to play, and then so this was the one we settled on, and it worked out well. And then we started in on New World, and we were having a big time. And then there was a bunch of stuff with dupes and stuff, and the in-game content just wasn't where it needed to be for probably the first 2 years of the game's life. So a lot of people got tired and left. That was whenever I lost the first group of friends that I had. Didn't lose the friends, we're still friends, but I lost them in the game. They started moving on to try out other games and other things and doing other things and having a big time doing other stuff. We still talk in Discord sometimes. They're good people. I think they think I'm a good person, fun to hang out with. They just don't enjoy the New World content like I do. So we don't play together as much. Then I joined another company and got involved with another group of friends, and they were good people as well. But then they kind of all started burning out and going to play other games. And then I think Brimstone Sands release came up, and a bunch of the people I started playing with came back. So we all rolled characters over on Lilith, and we played over on Lilith for several months. Um, and we had a lot of fun. It was a lot like it was at launch, but then just like it was at launch, there was exploits and dupes and things that made them burn out on the game. There was some tediousness with uh, leveling, and there was some, going and getting all the glyphs and brimstone and stuff. And then eventually they burn out and just didn't want to keep doing it. The mutations were, to compete at the highest level mutation at the time was M10, and they just didn't have the desire, and the rewards didn't feel good enough to try to do all the way to M10. So they took another break, and I got in with another group of friends and continued to play. And then the Elysian Wilds update release, where First Light stopped being First Light and started being the Elysian Wilds. And then a lot of the people I was playing with on Lilith stopped playing, so I came back to Marama to look for people to play with because I just didn't know any of the people left on Lilith, and I was having a hard time getting into groups to do any content because everybody already had the groups that they were used to, and they were used to the people they were playing with, and they enjoyed them. So I just couldn't seem to find room where I would fit in. I came back to Marama and joined it and was playing. Wound up in a Covenant company called Supple that ruled the server for a while. It was sort of accidental that I wound up there. I wasn't looking to join a major dominating PvP company, but I was helping with their invasions and doing some of the PvE stuff of it, and they appreciated it for a while. And then that kind of came to an end. They removed me from the company, trying to make some room, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. They didn't really tell me. I didn't ask a whole lot of questions. I was just like, okay, my time here is done. It's time to move on. And then I got in this screen company that I'm in, and been here ever since. Have a good time. We do invasions, we do wars, we do chess runs. Just have a big time. Do silly stuff sometimes. If you don't have an MMO, if any of this gameplay looks like anything you would want to play, I highly suggest you check it out. If it doesn't look like your thing, that's fine. It's not everybody's. I do like the combat because if I don't aim, I don't hit the target. There's no tab target. There is a little bit of lock on, but they've done something to it so it doesn't work as well as it did. Which I think is a good thing. I didn't like the lock on in the game. I like aiming and hitting and missing because of the skill that I have with the game, not necessarily having the game lock onto a target and help me kill it. I thought that there was a chest in there. Is it behind it? Doesn't look like there's a chest behind it, but there's a guy back there. Huh. I guess I was just flat out wrong all the way around. That guy's up there. There's a guy coming up the stairs behind me there. There's other places to loot chests in Shattered Mountain. You've got the whole Merc Guard thing. You've got, what is that down below me right there? Sipkin. There's a bunch of chests in there. I'm just too lazy to do that many, so I'll just take and do what I deem appropriate, which are these little 3 or 4 that I've done here. Since the star metal is up there on the hillside, I'm wondering if the ironwood trees are up. And there's a little bit of spin fiber back there, so yeah, I'm going to cheat, run back here and get the goodies before I go in the fort. I started this telling you guys how to get your topaz. Then I've just kind of rambled on in the video and showed you what I do and my little route that I take. Hope you guys have enjoyed it some. Hope you've learned something. Maybe I've showed you where something is that you didn't know where it was. Four more scar hide, 3 more animal horn. Here's some ironwood. I think I may have to go take a nap. I'm getting really tired. It's not that I find the game boring. I stayed up till about midnight last night in a worm raid, and then uh, something happened this morning. I woke up at 6 a.m., so I only slept about, I don't know, 5 hours or something last night, 5.5, from the time I got to bed till the time I was woken up. So I'm probably fixing to cut the video here in just a moment. Like I said, all I do is I just run in that fort right there and get the chests that are in there. It's not anything hard or earth shattering or anything that you may or may not even want to do. It just depends on whether you need hardened crystals and stuff of that nature. I always need hardened crystals. Thank you for watching.